guys, how are you this week? It's Thursday. Here another time for you. I think this week we're going to try some gourmet food that is easy on the wallet. So we're going to be following 3 or 4 steps to this. We're going to look at technique, season of ingredients, flavors, and presentation. The first thing I sourced out was the season, what's around right now. And I found a few things in the grocery store, some of which are preserved ingredients as well. But I'm trying to keep each portion under $10. And I thought we can go for a nice seafood dish here, incorporate some lobster and a little bit of molecular gastronomy. This may be a little confusing, but just stay with me, and we're gonna repost this, and you'll be able to go through step by step. But I got a cool little surprise for you to surely impress your guest or significant other. Okay, so let's get right into it. What I picked out was Atlantic cod. This ranges from about $2.99 a pound to almost $12.99 a pound, $13.99 a pound. This is all they had left at the store. I know the cut doesn't look good, but we're going to fabricate it so that it's nice and pretty on the plate. And this whole piece costed about $5 because it's the tail end. So I said, hey, what a bargain. We can try something with that. So if you come in close, when you buy cod whole like this, you'll have a bloodline on the back, and then you'll be able to see it separate right down the center. And that's where we're going to go. Just take our knife. And I want to be able to use this as a portion too. I don't want to waste anything, as I know, or we know that times are tough right now. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to get 2 nice portions. And we're going to hide all that in a second. Okay. Which one do we want to use? This one. Oh, come this way. I have a little breading station going. I'm just going to set that down in the flour. Crack an egg in here. And the reason I chose to crust it, which is what we're doing, is because the fish was kind of ugly. I'm sure that we'll have to find out when we taste it, but it smelled fresh, but it was the back end. So usually in the restaurants, what we'll do is if we're searing a piece whole, we'll use the loins and sometimes the belly. But since we're at the tail, let's see if we can make it look pretty. So here I just have plain old flour. That's just 1 beaten egg. And then I have a crust I made in the back. And this is 1 cup panko breadcrumb, a 1/4 cup pink peppercorns, and a 1/4 cup of chives. Look, I think we're pretty already.
Yum.
Yeah. Come back this way. Just make a quick wash. And for this cooking process, I think we're going to start at a medium-low heat and kind of let this fish cook very gently. Cod's a little delicate, as most white flaky fishes, but we're going to try and preserve the texture as much as we can. So I have in this pan a little olive oil. A little more. We're just going to start cooking that gently. So as you can see, medium low. When dealing with cod, make sure you're using, I always find that good cod comes from, you can find really good cod at Wegmans, but use a trusted fish monger or fish shop because they do carry parasites. Right now it's a little bit late in the season, but we should be all right. Okay. So in this pan, we're gonna do, I'm taking a note at a Grand Achatz here, a white wine caviar. So it's very simple, and I know that sounds a little crazy, but if you replay this, it should be a cinch. So what I have here is 1 cup of white wine. And then I have 2 grams of agar. Agar is basically like vegan gelatin. And what I have here is a little olive oil. Now the best part about this is we're just using this to set the pearls. This is about 1 liter or so, maybe a little more, and then you can reuse this. The flavor is not going to transfer over at all.
Hear that sizzling?
Yeah, we're going to take a look at that. Okay, so as you can see, it's just coming to the boil now. We don't want to boil this. You can get the agar, which I'll show you a picture, on Amazon. It's about $10 for that whole pack. We use 2 grams. Here I have a little egg shape. And again, I'll list all the ingredients. And this is just to give it a nice royal golden color. Just watch that boil too. Now comes the fun part. Let me just check on this fish real quick.
Chef, for a couple of new viewers, what are we cooking again?
We have a little crusted cod today. We're trying to do fine dining on a budget. And as you can see, this crisped up beautiful. We're going to do it with a little gnocchi, and we're going to do some molecular gastronomy today. Very simple, a beginner's way of doing it. So all I did was throw a little butter in there, and I'm just going to baste gently. Still on medium-low heat. We will repost this on our blog on Salt Hotels. I'll put the link in there. As I was saying that this is a very delicate fish, the heat in this pan, if it's very, very low to the point where you can barely see the flame, we'll finish cooking it through. And then back over here, I have our agar and white wine. And you get one of these. It's called a pipette. You can find these on Amazon as well. If not, you can use like one of those droppers that come in a bottle. I tend to rinse the ones out. Use those. And you take this, and this olive oil is chilled, by the way. About 32 degrees, and we start dropping this in here, just like this.
It's like a science project.
Yep. Molecular gastronomy is the science of food. And that can range from anything, from foams to spherification. There's YouTube videos everywhere now with it. It's super fun to do at home because this is something that the kids would be interested in.
Chef Garrett is asking if the peppercorns make it blackened crusted.
Those are pink peppercorns. If we come back over here, I didn't cook it too hard, so I preserved the color on it, and that was the idea. I wanted to make this fish look pretty. Yes, if it's there for too long, they will start to turn black. The flavor's good though, a nice charred king peppercorn. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what we're trying to achieve. And I hope you're doing well, Garrett. Okay, so if you come in close, you'll see our little balls. Eventually they're gonna, there they go now.
Oh,
They'll start to drop.
There they are.
Okay.
Hi, Michelle. Can you guys see that?
So, after you've used up all your liquid in there, you will be left with that. A nice, beautiful garnish. For scents.
Step 1, step 2.
You can strain this out through a fine mesh colander, or if you have one of those bar shaker things, that works just as well. As you can see, that dropper kind of just makes them all the same size. And these are loaded with acidity, so it's going to kind of round out the richness of the dish. All right, cod looking good.
Chef, one more quick recap for a few latecomers.
Okay. So this week we're doing fine dining, I guess you could say, that won't kill your wallet. So we found a nice cheap fish, some cod from the local market. We're gonna do a little garnish with some molecular strontifi, agar, and cold olive oil, which makes little pearls. And then we're gonna do a little gnocchi under it as well. Again, I will post this to the site, and then we can refer back to that.
Sean likes the little balls. We're going to leave that one alone.
All right, in this pot, we're gonna start our sauce. And we're gonna do a lobster veloute. We're gonna cheat it a little bit. Again, this is on a budget, and lobsters are expensive.
Chef, really quickly, can you substitute something else for the olive oil?
Yeah, you can use blended oil, but you tend to get problems with that. It doesn't. What happens is it'll stick to the top and create little discs instead of balls. But if you're not concerned with that, you're good to go. And then you can have little gelée discs. So in this pan, I have some butter melting. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of flour. There's all my spoons here too. I have a little tomato paste. About a teaspoon. And then, like I said, we were going to cheat this a little bit. I have lobster base. You can buy the bouillon. It's about $3.19 for, I think it was 28 ounces I saw. And just have a little compound roux going in there. It's equal parts fat and flour. Typically use some clarified butter or whole butter. And it's used to thicken sauces. And that's what we're doing here, is we're going to make almost like a lobster verdetto kind of veloute with a little cream, which I'm adding about a cup of cream. I'm just going to let this simmer. Get that nice blush color, like that rose.
Beautiful.
From the tomato paste and the lobster base. And you can see the cream has already started to thicken up. And you can reserve a little of that cream if it gets too thick on you. Just add a little more. When I'm doing sauces like this, I like for them to coat the back of the spoon. And you can kind of draw a finger through it, and it doesn't leak. And I think that's the perfect consistency.
Good tip.
There. So you would want to cook this off for about 5 minutes, just to cook that raw flour out. And we're going to move to the gnocchi.
Chef, before we start, Donna is asking where she can buy the lobster base.
Walmart has it. Everything I priced was from Walmart. I chose Walmart because I figured most people go there, or Wegmans, and I'm gonna posted as well as all the prices and what I paid for each ingredient to get it under $10. So it's just bouillon and it's lobster. You can also find it on Amazon. I saw it on there. I did a lot of research for prices for this one just to keep it under X amount. And I know, Walmart's a big company and whatnot, but they have everything and it's easy to get into right now. For the gnocchis, what I have here is just a little olive oil and some sun-dried tomatoes. When I was looking through this dish, I wanted red and beige. When it comes to high-end cuisine, fine dining, you got to think about the final product as well. Not just what you're doing. Ooh, that smells good.
Smells so good.
Whoever made these was good. Flavor is always important, but we need it to look good. Because I could just serve this on a big platter and charge $10 for it, but we need to up the price. So what I have here are some gnocchis. These were frozen from the store. You can make them homemade, certainly. Look into that on YouTube, or that crazy internet thing that we have. I'm just going to saute them a little bit.
That's a great dinner by itself right there.
Season them up a little bit. And you can see our fish is just resting in the pan. By the time we're done with everything else, it'll be nice and cooked. So I've reserved some of that white wine. And all I did was deglaze. I got all those nice bits off the bottom of the pan from that sun-dried tomato. I have 1 sprig of thyme I'm going to throw in there, and a half a bay leaf. We're going to pick those out at the end, though. A quick word when it does come to fine dining and gourmet foods. Don't ever be intimidated by it. A lot of it is showmanship. As a chef, you have fun with it. Getting to plate is always the best part too of this. When everything comes together great and organized, then you get your final product, and that's when you can start looking. So honestly, when I started this dish, I looked at the 2 dishes I wanted to use and what would pair well with them. Again, the seasonality too of the ingredients was a big play in it. But I walked past this plate and I was like, what can I do on that?
Quick question, Chef, regarding the pasta. Can you use cavatelli or cavati, as my grandmother used to say, or something similar?
Or as the people from the Bronx say, gabardino, right? Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can. This is a lemon ricotta. Cavatelli would work perfect. You could even use tortellinis in this dish. And we could probably do a pasta making demo pretty soon as well. Okay, so we've reduced this wine down. I'm going to add a nice glob of butter. And of course, for fine dining, a rule some of us live by is when in doubt, butter it out. Butter makes the world go round. Here, I have some caper berries. It's the same flavor profile as an olive. And I think they look beautiful on the plate when they're presented right. So, if you just cut off the bottom here, they'll stand straight up on your plate with that nice stem there. We're also going to cheat again and use one of these by cutting it in half. You can see it has those beautiful buds in there. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, wow.
We're going to lay our caviar on top of that because when you heat up gelatin or agar, it will melt. So if we put that on top of the hot fish, you'll lose your presentation. Let me just cut this real quick. And honestly, with all that being said and that done, we are ready to plate. And that is fine dining. Under 10 minutes and under $10. So we're gonna have the lobster sauce.
Color is beautiful.
Yes. Our gnocchis with sun-dried tomatoes, our garnishes, and our fish. What I like to do is use a ring mold. When you're plating this, try not to use try to get the thyme and bay leaf out. And with that ring mold, it's also there for show, but what's happening now is the sauce that is around it is starting to solidify, which means when we pull this off, it'll hold better, it'll hold the shape, because we are going to place that fish right on top. Here, just thinning the sauce out a little bit. Chef techniques. Let me grab a spatula. Delicate fish.
Yum.
Okay. Our caperberry. Our caviar. Not caviar.
Gorgeous.
Now I can get away with charging $42 for that. And let me grab my notes, and I'll tell you exactly what we spent. So as Jason has the food in the picture, I'll just talk in the background. For everything besides the fish, we came to about $5.90 for the fish and the portion. Now this is per plate, of course. It's very hard to get 4 plates or a whole dinner for everybody for under $10 when we're doing fine dining. And then the cod was, like I said, I paid $3.49 a pound, and we used 8 ounces. So half of that would be about $1.25. So we had a total of $8.30 for this whole dish. And what that was presented to me in a restaurant. Got
It's beautiful.
inclined to pay a little more. Again, I want to reiterate, we will post this again if it's a little intimidating, but this is the best part of cooking, is learning. Again, with these are optional, but this is such a fun thing to do with the kids at home, or your partner. The sauce, you probably will have to shop for some of these ingredients. I'm not going to say everybody's going to have agar on hand, but it is out there and it's easy to get. So for that, this week, there's our fine dining that doesn't break the bank, under $10. I think we're good to go on this. We're going to eat it. So I hope everybody had fun. Again, I hope everybody's staying safe. I heard that Governor Murphy is opening the parks and beaches. I don't know how I feel about that, but at least we get to go outside and enjoy some sunshine. Not today. It's horrible out, but the food should warm your hearts a little bit. So give this a shot. If you can't find cod, use hake or sea bass. And then maybe send us some of your pictures. Experiment a little bit. And maybe we'll take a look at them. Feature them. We'll see. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chef. See you next weekend, guys.